Hey, we want to welcome you to the Triple Thread podcast. I'm Lamar.
I'm Joey.
And we're grateful to be here tonight with our VIP, Vince Lovejoy, who nobody can really call him this except for me and get away with it. He's sitting down, but Vince is like 6'8" seemingly. And, so I can call him this name that we'll get to here in a minute, but we're excited, Vince, that you're here with us tonight.
Well, thank you.
So, Vince, tell us kind of about your life. Tell us about why you're here tonight and what segment of society that you're in community with.
Well, I currently work full-time for the coroner's office. So I'm an investigator for the Butler County Coroner's Office. I am retired from the City of Middletown Detectives. I retired in 2017. Doesn't seem that long.
That's a long time.
Yeah. I'm currently still a reserve, and then I oversee the security here at the church.
Wow. So a lot of things. In fact, how old were you when you started in law enforcement, Vince?
20.
20
years old. That was back when you could go to the academy, and just do your laws of arrest for 2 weeks and firearms and go work the street.
Wow.
So it was a long time ago. We don't need to talk about that.
Yeah. You've seen a lot.
I have. You know that.
Yeah, you've seen a lot.
Yeah, I have.
And Joe, I think when you and I have been talking about this community piece, there is an important aspect because so many people walk into different places and spaces in community.
Sure.
And, Vince now, I mean, you've seen him for a long time, but I often joke with Vince as part of the coroner's office, you see dead people. And
all the time.
But before that, in policing, you're trying to protect and serve.
Sure. And I was talking with Joey prior to us coming in, and one thing, this, you've been around enough to know, we're not like firemen. We don't get invited to birthday parties, and when they call us, something bad's happening.
Yeah.
And that's truly just how it is. It's, that going in, and hopefully you can make a difference and do the right thing. Joey asked me earlier, I'm probably stepping all over your questions, and I apologize.
That's fine. We're here to talk. You're the talker. We're here to.
You're the VIP.
We're just
Vince.
kind of guiding the discussion. That's what we're here to do.
Yeah.
So, I forgot what I was going to say now. See, CRS.
One of my questions. So when you were invited to Baraka by Lamar, that first time you came to church, how'd that go?
So let me tell you, this is a funny story.
Yeah.
So literally, I was working a cruiser, working a beat, and he would come out and ride with me. And we would get into heated discussions because, listen, I was baptized and saved early on. And I told him that, and I said, listen, I do not have to go to church to worship God. And we would argue about it. And he said, then he would come back with, you need a community, you need a family, and I'm like, I need. So long story short, I talked Michelle, I said, hey, let's go to church, I want to try Lamar's church. And we go. And I get in, and everybody is wonderful. First of all, everybody was very kind. I will never, ever forget that. I will never forget how kind, and they didn't know who I was. They had no idea who I was. I'm a complete stranger.
Lamar's like, hey, big guy, he's coming in flat.
He had no idea I was coming.
Gotcha.
I never told him.
Okay.
I'm sitting in service, and I'm texting him. I'm going, where are you? I'm at your church. And he goes, you ain't going to believe this. I am sick. And I'm like, my only response to him was, and I could probably pull the text up. My only response to him was, maybe God's trying to tell us something.
Yeah. And I think
it's very open-ended.
And I really think God was trying to tell you something because, Vince, as you say, Lamar's church, reality is that church is that community that we talk about, but it's not my church. And I know what you were using as language, but it's our church that God has called us to. And I happen to be the pastor who was sick and couldn't show up that day. But I really believe, as we've talked about it after that, there was a reason I was sick. There was a reason I wasn't there that day.
Yeah, because I think that moment of welcoming is what won us over. Yeah. Truly. That's what won Michelle and I over. It was how nice and kind. You got to remember, I'm a policeman. I don't trust nobody. You know that.
Sure.
To this day, I don't trust people. You know?
So it went, I love what you said. It went back to that moment where we were welcomed.
We were. Open arms.
And had I been there, maybe received...
Well, I would have thought you skewed it, or you're like telling everybody, hey, you treat this guy nice, be nice to him, he's a policeman. But that didn't happen. They didn't know who I was.
Right.
They really did not.
Right.
They didn't know I was Vince Lovejoy. Maybe somebody recognized me, but nobody said that to me.
Okay. Yeah.
So, I'm like, these people are genuine and they were nice.
So go back to that community.
And you know how this is.
What?
When your wife is happy.
You're happy.
Absolutely. Yes. Amen to that.
And she was happy.
Yeah. And that's a big deal. Because, obviously Michelle, who will definitely want her to be one of our VIPs. Michelle has walked through as a ED nurse, emergency department, and now what she's working in a very difficult field in sexual assault. And she does. Yeah. So it was very important for her to feel welcome. And I think that's where we have to go back to. Community, if you're welcomed, if you're not. Let me go back to this, and I say this. When it came to policing, I've been a chaplain now, as of this recording, 20 plus years. Vince will tell you, literally, when I walked into chaplaincy at the police department, cops don't trust, understandably. They don't trust. So I didn't walk in with this shirt and this title of chaplain. I walked in and people were very leery of me. But it took some time. And once, it was about 3 years. Mm-hmm. And I can take you to the place where I walked in and I knew I had been invited in. But there's something powerful about walking into any environment and either feeling welcomed or shunned.
Cold.
Yeah. And so for them to feel that, and for them to, know that they were welcomed without even me being there to, as he said, skew. I don't have to.
Sure.
And I shouldn't have to. That should be the response of people, because people are birthed and born for community. Mm-hmm. And so in that community that I met Vince in, and it was the wild, wild west, story after story. In fact, we'll talk about this, especially as we get closer to our first break. We'll talk about how Vince enters Dirty Big Secret, the story. Right. And you've read it, Joe, right?
I've read it several times. You mentioned that you didn't trust anyone. What was it that Lamar did? How did he gain your trust? Because it doesn't come easy, it sounds like. So.
No, it didn't. It didn't come easy for a long time. It was probably the year we spent doing discipleship. And it was a year, and it normally is not that long, but our schedules, he was, dude, you have no idea. I went with him one day, and he wore me out. One day. One day.
Yeah.
So his schedule was, and just how it worked out, but that afforded me the opportunity to experience and to see who he really was.
Sure.
So, and he didn't judge me. He accepted me for me. Yeah. Okay? And listen, we all got faults. And I got some ugly ones. And he knows that. And so that began our friendship. And he's always been there. He's always been that person to be there. He's been my friend. He's been my pastor. He's been my shepherd for a little over 15 years now.
Yeah. And that's why, I said it, in fact, a week ago. I was talking to the congregation. I said, when you meet people and you love people and they are endeared to you, For me, I'm going to give him a name. Like that, if I call you a name, it's
you don't have to like it.
You don't have to like it, but it's a term of endearment. So he's got an incredible first name, but he's got an incredible last name, Lovejoy. And so Lovejoy, I don't even remember when I just was like, Lovey. Remember? And it had nothing to do with Gilligan's Island for all of you.
I wanted.
Yeah. But Lovey, he became Lovey, and in turn, what happened to me?
You became Chappie.
Yeah,
He's good.
Yeah. So
and listen,
Pretty good.
It's better than Lovey, maybe.
It's
right?
better, yeah.
Well, and I have to catch myself because that's just something. And I called him that at work. I would always call him.
I like it.
He's in my phone. It's Chappie.
Yeah.
And your his phone is Lovey. I have no doubt. I have no doubt.
And so, writing, being there, Vince, I think one of the most what captures my mind more than any scene is not too far from this place that we're shooting this in the studio. I'll never forget the night that I was called out as a chaplain, and it was a very tenuous scene. At that point, Vince, who I'd love for you to talk about, you being not only a detective, he was a beat cop, but he was also a canine officer. Yeah. Talk a little bit about canining, because that's different.
You're talking.
You know what where we're going.
Yeah,
but before we go there,
I
know. But before we go there, talk about canining.
You got to love it. You have to love it. It is a way of life. Your dog is your partner, and that's just how it is. They go home with you, they sleep with you, and I lived that. I had my first dog at Lemon Township when I started down there. I got my second dog here, and it's a lot of work. It's just a lot of work. And I had a psycho dog, man, but he was a good dog. Dog loved me. Oh, man, you're giving me ghost chill bumps now, making me think about, because you're going to that.
We're going to go there, and to get a cop to talk about it, we're going to go there. But before we go there on that night, Vince, because again, canining is a different, would you call it a different brand of policing? Would you call it a different doorway, a different opportunity? What would you call it?
It's challenging for yourself, but not only that, it's the work involved. It's a different work. Okay, you're grooming and shaping a tool that is your protector, and that dog will love you and love you unconditionally, and it'll die for you. But it takes a lot of work, and the animal, this is their job from the moment you put that uniform on. Even on their days off, if I go near my cruiser for anything, he's like, they just get all crazy. It's great. It's a great thing, but it's a lot of hard work and it's a big commitment. It's not Monday through Friday. It's 24/7.
Sure.
Because the dog lives with us.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of work. And you take that very seriously, and you try to take care of your dog. You try to take care of yourself, do the right things. So it's a lot of work. A lot of dedicated people do that job. And, Middletown was one of the very first agencies to have police canines.
Yes.
Back in 1966.
Wow.
Talk about Bill Hollister, Russ Hess. That's a whole nother.
Whoa.
That's a whole nother episode.
Those men were kind of the godfathers of where we sit today. Really? And really, for people from the outside or even Middletonians, I don't think they understand, let me use this term, I don't think they understand the breed lines of, I'm not talking about the dog, I'm talking about the incredible legacy and the breed lines with the Hollisters.
Oh my goodness.
With these men who literally instilled what it meant to be. And we even today are incredibly boasting of the reward. From the Hollisters and
for Philpott, you got Hess.
Hess.
Yeah. So,
But now the new
genre you got.
you've got one of our officers right now who's a sergeant, Lindsay Schwarber.
Yeah.
Her dad happened to be a
Lieutenant.
but he was a
Became
K-9,
chief.
and became chief. So you've got a new.
He started out in Canaan.
Exactly. So you got a new breed now. So it's incredible to see the legacy of that, which is really in this community. But going back, let's go back to that night. You already know what we're going to talk about. Kind of walk us through that night from what you remember. I show up on the scene. I'm called out. There was a serious situation.
Well, it was a standoff. It was a guy that was barricading himself inside. They knew he was armed. And they made the decision that they wanted me to send my dog in to search for him. Now, he's armed. He's already fired rounds. And prior to me getting there, he had already fired another round. So they made the decision they wanted me to send my dog in. That's probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do.
I can't
Okay,
imagine.
because he's going to shoot my dog. So we're all stacked up, the SWAT team, or the SRT team.
Yeah.
Forgive me, fellas. The SRT team.
Which stands for, SRT stands
Special
for
Response Team.
Special Response Team.
Gotcha.
So they're all stacked up. They got a shield. The plan was the apartment was upstairs, and we would get to the top of the stairs. I would send my dog and let him find the guy.
Yeah.
Praise God. My dog went off. He didn't get shot. Unfortunately, the guy had taken his life. And it's sad. I'm sitting here talking, proud of my dog. He did a great job. He searched well. He located the guy. But it's a horrible thing. The guy has parents. He has family. He has brothers, sisters, whatever.
Sure.
And, with the best of respect, I say all this, that, that's the hardest thing I ever do. I truly ever had to do. And Lamar knew that. He knew it bothered me.
Yeah.
But I also knew that's what had to happen to be safe.
Yeah.
So
That's what I had to do to be safe. And I think, again, that is a surrender moment. That is a moment that none of us, I don't think, can understand unless in that situation. Those were the things, those were the times where you realized God was putting you in that community for a reason, because what most people, let's call them John Q. Public people, don't realize is when they have to call the police and the police are responding, what they don't register or recognize in their crisis, they don't know where the officer has been before.
No idea.
They have no idea what kind of call the officer has been on, which I think, Vince, to the best of your ability, kind of try to describe that for people, like call to call.
Well, it depends how busy we were.
Right.
If it's a Saturday night in the middle of June, and you could be running call to call, literally. You get to a call, theft call, and you have dispatch telling you, I need you to clear to go to a fight call. And that may be to go back somebody up. Or you have officers that are in foot pursuit of somebody that they just, witnessed to a drug transaction, and you're in the middle of it, and you got to cut people off, and you got to say, hey, your little theft report ain't as important as my buddy over here chasing somebody. I'll be back. People don't like that, and you got to try to give, and you just got to decide where that line is. People want the police when things go bad. I told you this prior to coming in here. I've seen the ugly of every Christian there is. Okay, I've seen the ugly. We would have debates about this on the cruiser because we're all people. And that's where Lamar educated me and helped me not be jaded, because my job will jade you. You will absolutely you're in that pen over there, or you're in that pen over there, and that's where you'll stay, because you don't need me unless things are bad. And I definitely don't need you, and I don't want to be around you.
Yeah.
So it jades you. My job can jade you.
Even as you're trying to protect, even as you're trying to serve, it can take you to places that really you have to somehow escape from. And the tragedy and the tragic of a career like policing is that if there's not the right thing to go to, then it can take you down paths that are so incredibly destructive. And I think that's really a good opportunity for us as we talk about community to take a break. Thanks for tuning in to the Triple Thread podcast. We are so grateful that you have spent the time to share this time with us. From Joe and I and our producer, Zach, and all that make this happen, we can't thank you enough. Also, shout out to Sandy Snowden. Wow, my assistant who keeps my life running well. Thank you so much, Sandy. Listen, if you want to learn more about community, all you have to do is type in realcommunityforyou.com. It's realcommunity, the number 4, the letter U.com, and you'll be shown some opportunities for you to be a part of community on our website, not only the Triple Thread podcast, but a way that you can, if you feel that you'd like to be a part of this, a way that you can financially help us and support this. We would so greatly appreciate it. Another thing is, too, the Dirty Big Secret, a book that was written and published last year, is an opportunity for you to pick up my memoir. I believe it will encourage you, and it will take you to a place where you realize that community is such a part and a need for our life. So Dirty Big Secret is available. You can click that link to go to Orange Fraser Press, my publisher, and purchase that. It'll be mailed to you, or you can pick it up at a Baraka location near you. Thanks again for tuning in, listening, wherever you listen, Spotify, Apple, wherever you're listening. Thank you so much. Let's get back to our podcast.
Dirty Big Secret is an outstanding book about community, about unity, about what compassion fatigue. Exactly what I'm sure you've gone through many times, and maybe you continue to go through that. We did talk a little bit about being a coroner now and the things that you see, and I asked you, how do you deal with those things? You talked about that a lot in the book. How do you deal with these things? Yeah. You're seeing babies dead, all kinds of things. So get into that for us.
And I've always told Lamar, I just feel like God has blessed me. He just takes it away. Joe, I don't know how else to say that. And I've talked to you about this many, many, many a time. He just takes it away. He takes it and puts it somewhere, and thank him for that. Because, there are things. Kids bother you, Any kid's death bothers you. And, not to get into a bunch of, but he just takes it away. And prayer and being in the Word helps.
Absolutely.
It does. And you have to self-discipline that. I can't run to my pastor every time I'm having a bad day. I got to run to God. That's who I need to run to, is God. Mm-hmm. Because he's going to set me free. He is going to soothe me. He is going to wash me. He is going to take care of me. And he has time to time. And he taught me that.
Yeah.
He did teach me that.
So have you felt that calming, that peace throughout your career? You said you were saved and baptized very early, so I'm...
No, so I didn't attend church, so I didn't have church family.
You weren't attending, of course.
I was bouncing around.
Yeah, because you didn't need church.
My first job, can I say this with that? Yeah, I can say this.
Sure
probably.
You can.
Statute of limitations.
Worst case, we edit you out.
Well, no, I'm not going to mention names, but where I worked, my first 3 complaints were from pastors of churches. They were fooling around on their wives, and I caught them.
Oh, mercy.
Yeah.
So he helped me navigate through that because I was angry.
I bet.
Dude, I was angry.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how dare you? I'm trying to protect your... It's not my fault they left the church door open.
Right.
And
you, but you said something. He helped me navigate. Joe, I think it's important that we just kind of let that just kind of marinate. Like, he helped me navigate and take me as the he out of it. How important is it in community? How important is it to help other people navigate? And is it necessary?
It's absolutely necessary. To not have my brothers, who I rely on heavily, right? And I'm right here at church and in my community.
Right.
Without having those guys. And I didn't really lean on other men until the last 4 or 5 years myself. Tried to navigate it my own, isolated. It doesn't work. What happens to the lone wolf? People say the lone wolf is the strong wolf. No, the lone wolf dies.
Right.
Quickly.
Yeah, he doesn't survive.
And if there's one thing that I think we would say, and I don't want to speak for us, but I think I can speak for us, one of the things that people run to that is absolutely just hastening their demise, it's isolation.
Oh, 100%.
When you and I are isolated, let's go back to that dreadful night with the man who barricaded himself into that apartment. He was isolated. Sadly, tragically, the end of that, there was nobody around him. Even trying to phone call in, he had come to a point where no one was around, no one was there. And one of the parts of the book that I talk about is IED. Isolation ends in destruction. And so I think we understand, and that was one of the very reasons from the very beginning. When I look back on chaplaincy, that was the beautiful invite into a world that I didn't know. It's different than what they portray on TV. I had a lot of things that I took in. I thought that all these police officers were going to keep this house of secrets. Are you kidding me? These guys and gals love telling on each other.
Oh, they gossip like, whew.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It is.
And so one of those things is in that community and in that opportunity, we have to have one another. Yeah. And so navigation is that we are not lone wolves, to your point. Yeah. We're not lone rangers. We're not solo. Right. We are truly people that have been designed for community. And in that community, man, there's ups and downs. There's good times, bad times. Vince, I'm going to let you take our viewers to that day where you and I were, what are you laughing about? Where you and I are on the gun range.
Can I just get the book and read from it?
So, but you can't.
But
here's what I'm going to tell you. Can you tell it in a way that doesn't give away everything so that people will want to read it? Because it's powerful, it's comedic, go ahead.
So,
set the scenes.
Yeah.
So we're at the range. I think it was October, wasn't it? October 2017. Yeah.
So thinking, you say?
Okay. I don't know. It was then. All I know is you, of course, was fashionably, the last one there.
What?
Oh, well, what?
No way.
That detail's not important,
No.
Vince.
Well, he leaves that out of the book. I'm just saying. So he's late, as usual.
Oh, my.
And I love him, but he wants to run this scenario. So I'm like, okay, we're going to run this scenario. And I'm telling him what I want him to do. I want him to run down here. I want him to fire off some rounds at the targets. I want to get behind a barricade. If you got to reload, I want you to reload, engage targets. And he's got to do this in 6 minutes. Okay, and there may be a mag change. And he's got this really nice gun that somebody he knows brought and let him use. And
really nice gun.
Meaning expensive.
Yeah, very expensive.
So he's all jacked up. He's ready to go. Doing it. Oh, yeah.
Chris Vector. It was a Vector, all right?
Yeah. So he is all pumped and ready to go, and I'm going to time him, and I'm literally on his back because I'm going to be screaming at him the whole time. I want his blood pressure up. I want him, I'm trying to make it as real as possible for him. Literally. we're there, we're set, and I'm holding his belt.
True story.
I am. I'm holding his belt.
True story.
And I scream, go. And we take off. And
I can laugh now.
I'm looking and I'm like, what are you doing? Because he is diving and I can't grab him. To me, he's diving. I'm like, why are you? Time has stopped because I'm thinking, what are you doing? Why are you diving into the ground, right? And I'm trying to grab him because he's falling. Yeah. I know he's falling. Yeah. You ever get, we're big boys. We get going too much up here and we're going.
Imagine you two running, so just saying that.
So, that in itself. Yeah. Right?
Okay, so, and I can run when I need to.
Yeah.
I'm a big old boy, but when I stop, it's going to hurt. It's just going to. If I lay on top of you, squish.
Right.
But he goes down, and I'm telling you, he laid, like a baby, he laid that gun down. And I was like, look.
Impressive.
I was very impressed. I even said, dude, I can't believe
he was impressed.
You didn't. That's all I'm saying. I can't believe you didn't drop the gun. And he's laying there dying, and I'm thinking, you're a wimp. Get up. That's what I'm thinking. Just, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, and I'm like, what? Come on, Chappie, get up. And then Jonathan comes over because all Jonathan thinks he's all white. And,
Jonathan's my brother,
And Jonathan's panicking, and Jonathan's like, call squad. Well, he's already asked for one. I wouldn't call anymore.
You're like,
because I'm like, suck it up, literally. But he is, and you think back now, but he was white, man. I'm like, And so Jonathan's like, Vince, call squad. So I get on the phone, call squad, blah, blah, blah. And so that's enough. They just need to read the rest.
They've got to read the rest. They got to read the rest.
So, it's good. It's good.
That's awesome.
But that was a moment that, for the record, was a community moment that we can look back on and laugh about now. But it was painful in a lot of ways. And I remember, speaking of painful in a lot of ways, I remember being confused, Vince, walking up early on as a chaplain, walking up to really some devastating scenes and watching police officers around these scenes act in a way that I thought would be and was, to me, inappropriate. And what I mean by that is there was a different emotion that these police officers were showing in a moment that I would be responding in a completely different way. Vince, you know what I'm talking about. Officers really have to go to those places. So can you kind of describe, why we see officers responding emotionally to things that we would respond to in a different way?
So I'll say this I'll start out by saying we try not to let the public see that. Okay, you were there, part of us, so you got to see that. Death is hard to deal with. Trauma is hard to deal with. And people deal with trauma and death in different ways, just like grief, people laugh, people joke, people go other places, and it's easy to do that. And we want to be as professional as we can, but it affects us just as much as it affects everybody else.
Yes.
You know this.
Yes.
You know this probably more than anybody. Okay? You have literally single-handedly tried to cure the whole police department. Okay? And it took a toll on you. It did.
Yeah.
You can't take that away because it did. And you were such a blessing. See, these are things that I feel I need to say now, is how much of a blessing you have been to our police department and to be there for all those times that, and no matter what, you were there. And you know what I mean. I don't need to tell the world.
But it was an honor, and it is an honor to be able to be serving in those. But it does, and it did. It took a toll on my life. it was one of those pieces of my life that truly took a toll. And I wouldn't, when I think about that, God doesn't waste anything, even the tough times. It did take a toll. Compassion fatigue, you talked about it earlier. It's real. When you're dealing with people's stuff and having your stuff at the same time and not really listening to your stuff, but listening to other people's, it does take you down a place and down a hole that can be, well, in some instances, it can be fatal. And for me, blessed enough to know that it's part of my story, wouldn't change anything about it, understanding that to help people. And to your point, I know a lot more now than I knew then. In community, I'm realizing I'm only one person. I have my own set of needs. And to that end, I realized that all the people that I wanted to save, I couldn't save because my life was even spiraling at times. And I'm sure at different episodes, these things will come up because we should be markers. And in this triple thread thought, as we always are able to be together in this setting, the Bible says two are better than one. And a threefold cord is not easily broken. And hence the name triple thread will remind our viewers of that it's an important thing because we're better together than we are apart. And Vince happened to be one of those who just allowed me to, and maybe reluctantly or even understandably, I don't even trust you. He allowed me to be with him and to see and to experience and welcomed me in. And that's been a beautiful thing to really be a part of.
Yeah, I would agree.
Let's kind of transition. Let's think about this.
Okay. Now, where are you taking me?
No, I know. You remember the wild day? You mentioned you and I rode together over one day, and you'd be like, "Oh my gosh, that was funny to me," because you were like, "Dude, you're busy," and I was like, "Really?" And you were like, "Yeah, you're busy." So I'm gonna be nice to you, but you transition from really detective work, and you're now with the coroner's division, and so now you're kind of coming in like you did with detectives. You're coming in after the decedent. You're coming in after maybe a crime's taken place or a body that wasn't attended. It's a whole different deal. Now you're having to deal with public for these things, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And it's not like, hey, I'm just going to pick the body up. You're now dealing with a grieving community.
Correct. And so that is in itself a challenge. But I think that, again, you just have to look back that people grieve differently. And I want to treat them how I would expect to be treated. I always tell myself that, And listen, I've been cussed at, I've been screamed at, but in the same breath, I've just had where you've been on a notification with me and we've walked up to the door and they're cussing at us from the other side. But as soon as they open that door and we're in uniform and we introduce ourselves, they know somebody's dead.
Yeah.
Police don't come to your door knocking with a guy in a suit.
An officer, yeah. So you're dealing now with the other side. And I've often said this, death is, people always want to explain it and they want to try to figure it out, but it's a natural part. Life and death is natural. Bible says it, wages, payment of sin is death. We're going to die. Yeah. It's taking us down. But we come to a place where we come face to face with mortality. And when we come face to face with mortality, we understand, I think, even more the goodness of God, grace of God, and all that he has for us. In this venture and in this journey, we don't want to do life alone. And so I would say to you, Joe, it's an honor to be with you. And Vince, you have been that incredible gift to us tonight.
Absolutely.
As we have walked down. There's so many more stories that we could talk about. But I think the greatest story that we can all tell the world is that you're looking at some guys who are flawed
Amen.
and forgiven.
Amen.
Amen for that.
Joe, take us out.
Yeah. So we really appreciate your time tonight.
Oh.
This was our first of Triple Thread podcast, and I'm grateful to be here with you, Lamar. Thank you for inviting me to co-host with you. Yeah, it's all because of Jesus.
Yeah, we
That's
praise
it.
him for it.
Amen.
Vince, thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
See you soon.